Well, in just about 1 hour from now, St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer will unveil a new plan to address the city's aging water infrastructure. The city's water division is proposing an increase in water rates in the coming years. They say the extra money will go toward improving the aging infrastructure and lead to less main breaks. The city has also allocated about $30 million of the RAM settlement money towards the issue. The mayor is speaking about a board bill on the matter just over an hour from now. And we do have some special guests joining us in studio with more details, our good friends here. Thank you guys for joining us once again.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us, Mercedes.
Of course,
Good morning.
appreciate it. This is really important, obviously, because we're talking about increasing people's water bills, but also the city's water system really needs this. So just tell me what this board bill is designed to accomplish.
Sure. So, for a couple of years now, we've been doing a lot of planning at the Water Division. We've been dealing with the challenges of aging infrastructure. We know we have to do a lot of work to reinvest back into the system. So that's all coming together right now. This board bill aims to address that with, a strategic plan that will require additional funding. Early on, we're looking at some bigger rate increases to support, meaningful renewal capital, and later on, smaller increases to continue that support for project work across the city.
I know we've talked about it several times, but just in case someone is just tuning in, hearing, oh my gosh, why is this happening now? Why is this happening now?
Yeah, I mean, as far as why it's happening right now, we've talked about these sort of deferring of infrastructure improvements over the last couple decades. And I think the big thing right now is we've got a board of aldermen, we've got a water division leadership team, and we've got an administration that's willing to do the hard things. And so no one wants to be up here talking about rate increases. It's not a conversation we want to have, but it's a necessary one. And I think why it's happening right now is we cannot kick this can further. We are at a situation where our financial situation is dire, and we've got a team right now, both in the city and in the water division, to make these improvements for generations to come.
And of course, with inflation, a lot of people are struggling right now. Gas prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
I literally filled up my tank yesterday and it was $60 and I wanted to cry. So people hear rate increases, they immediately get very nervous. So what do you want to say to customers that are concerned about paying their bills?
Sure. So we know it's a challenge. We understand that, but we are building in something that's kind of unprecedented. We are addressing that directly with an affordability rate in this board bill. This is going to go a long way to help the most vulnerable St. Louisans, those who may be, struggling with, income between jobs, those who are on a fixed income because they're senior citizens, those who have been impacted by the tornado. This affordability rate will subsidize bills for those folks, in the face of these increases, to make sure that they can keep their essential water service on.
And I know we spoke about it, but y'all really did a lot of research. And this plan is really based on data and engineering analysts. I can't speak. You know what I'm saying?
Analysis. Sure.
Analysis.
You got it.
Woo! Okay, can you explain that a little more for somebody that's truly trying to understand the data portion of it?
Sure, I'm going to defer to engineering.
Yeah, so, I mentioned for years we've been doing the planning, right? And so we have a water master plan. We're doing condition assessments of all of the assets we own, all of the facilities we own, trying to modernize all of that, and right size it as well. We're doing projections of demand for water in the city of St. Louis, certainly amid population fluctuations that are going on. This will lay out work for the next few decades for us. We plan on bonding out the work with the revenues we receive with revenue bonds so that we can pass that cost out over time, not on the ratepayers of today entirely, but it will be something that we'll all have to chip in and pay back into, the people who use water in the city of St. Louis, the ratepayers, the citizens, the businesses. We all have to chip in to make sure that this water system is here for not only the generation of today, but for tomorrow as well.
And I do want to point out, we've mentioned it, but our city does have one of the lowest or the lowest, water bill. We're not paying a lot for our water bills.
I think in the
general,
regional,
right?
Regionally, we are far less than
Yeah.
our neighbors, and across the state, we're one of the lowest. I think we don't want to be the lowest. We want to be charging what the cost it is to produce water. But we do, we are municipally owned, and so I think one of the big things is we don't have a profit. All of the money that we get goes directly back into the system, and so no matter what that bill is, it's money that's going back into your pocket. It's coming to the water system, and then we're using that money to help people. And I do want to talk a little bit about, Neeraj talked about the long-term plan.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to recognize that this is a bill that proposes rates for a longer period of time, but the importance of that for folks to budget. so they will know what's coming. Instead of this, hey, we're waiting, and then there's a large increase and then nothing for years. We're building in a plan so that people, businesses, the city itself can use that to project into the future, and then also build out and use that to prepare for longer-term infrastructure projects that one-time funding doesn't necessarily provide us.
Yeah, and even with all of that, we know we're not going to be the cheapest maybe around regionally, but we're also not going to be the most expensive. It is one of the pillars of, the studies that we've been doing to maintain affordability, to be, good stewards of all the dollars coming in.
And obviously the mayor's behind it, so do you think this will pass?
There's been a lot of support. I think everyone in the city, that we've been talking to at the town halls, talking to the public, talking to elected officials, they're tired of hearing more and more water main breaks, more and more outages, more and more, boil water advisories, and they're asking for what we need to do to get through that. And luckily, the time is now. We're not unwilling to address these challenging problems, that do pose some, financial burden to the city and the citizens, but I think the risk is far greater of inaction.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And that meeting is at 9:30, the announcement from the mayor. We will be streaming it right here on 5+. So we'll be following this story all day long. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you.
Giving